Championship weekend, baby. Let's get right into the action. If you come here for a teaser, then you've come to the right spot. And there's only one teaser to make this weekend. That's by pairing the Kansas City Chiefs all the way down to -1 with the San Francisco 49ers up to +9.5. So basic teaser strategy. You guys know the drill. Crossing some key numbers here. So take a look at Kansas City. This is a true home field advantage. Unlike out in Los Angeles, 8 straight wins at home. They're not just squeaking by in these games either. Average win margin of 15.5, 7 straight wins at home. In the playoffs, 5 of those wins coming by double digits. You dig into some stats here. I think they're going to be able to move the ball up and down the field with ease versus this Bengals defense. First in yards per play versus 23rd in yards per play allowed. First and third down conversion percentage versus 21st in that category. Defensively, we saw what happened to Joe Burrow last week, getting sacked a million times. Now he's going up against a defense that is 5th in QB pressure percentage. Then we take a look at this San Francisco leg, +9.5. This is absolutely beautiful, and their defense is going to keep them in it. Their defense has been on fire here. Last 3 games versus the Rams, Cowboys, and Packers. 3 pretty good offenses there. 4.4 yards per play allowed. Now, to put into perspective how damn good that is, the Buffalo Bills, #1 overall in the NFL in yards per play allowed at 4.8. San Francisco, 4.4 over their last 3 games. The Rams cannot run the football. I invite you to look into that. That's going to make them very one-dimensional. That means a lot of pressure is going to be on Matthew Stafford here, and he sucked versus the 49ers this season. 4 interceptions in 2 games against them. You take a look at that Week 18 game. Of course, San Francisco made that big comeback, won in overtime. It really shouldn't have been that close, though. San Francisco, 184 more yards in that one, 5 more minutes of ball control, and you'd have to go back to November 7th. That was the last time San Francisco lost by double digits. So give me Kansas City and San Francisco on a 6-point teaser. Next up, it is my favorite total of the weekend, and I'm not scared of that 54.5 out in Kansas City. Give me the over on that one. So some big red flags for each of these defenses here. Whenever they faced a high-level offense or a top-tier quarterback, it hasn't gone very well for them. Take a look at Kansas City here. Lamar Jackson dropped 36 on them. Josh Allen in 2 games at 38 and a 36. Justin Herbert in 2 games at 30 and a 28. Joe Burrow back in Week 17, of course, dropped 34 on them. Then we saw Cincinnati get lit up by Mahomes. Herbert, Rodgers, and Cousins each threw for 340 yards or more against them. So the writing is on the wall here. Each of these teams have some major home run hitters, and each of these teams allows a lot of big plays defensively. Kansas City, the 4th most receiving plays of 40-plus yards. Cincinnati, the 3rd most of 20-plus. And we've seen a very high scoring pattern for Kansas City, both recently and historically. Recently, the total has gone over in 7 of their last 7 games. Average combined score of 60.43. And the over has hit in 6 of their last 8 home playoff games. Average combined score 62.75 in those games. And some takeaways from that regular season matchup. Each of them easily went up and down the field against the other. 889 combined yards, each over 7 yards per play. I don't think it's fair to expect the exact same game, but the strength of these teams is their high-flying offenses, their home run hitters. So give me the over at 54.5 between the Bengals and the Chiefs. And we'll wrap things up with my favorite player prop for the weekend, and that is for Travis Kelce to go over 76.5 receiving yards. So come playoff time, he is the go-to guy for Kansas City in these playoffs so far. 16 total targets. Last year's playoffs, 3 games, 40 total targets in those games. So as a result of that, he's had at least 96 receiving yards in 5 straight games. And this all lines up perfectly because the Bengals are brutal versus tight ends. 5th most receiving yards allowed to tight ends and the 4th most catches this season. Now you might say, Joe, go back and look at their game in Week 17. He only had 25 receiving yards in that game. Yeah, still 7 targets in that game. And Kansas City is a team that makes adjustments, so I do expect them to tinker with things a little bit here and have Kelce more involved this time around. So there you have it, my best bets for the NFL this weekend. Drop your best bets in the comment section right down there. Good luck with your bets this weekend, unless you are fading me. And as always, keep chasing that paper. Woo!